the classroom. So we are recording the next session of Virtual Roundtable with Visual Arts Circle Symposium. It's 6:32 p.m. GMT. And it's my great pleasure to introduce Magdalena Wasilewska, a graduate of Warsaw University, Teacher Training College and American Studies Center, teacher with over 20 years of experience, director of studies in a private school of English, Green Hills Academy, a graduate of Teacher Trainer Academy, DOS, LT, Cambridge Examiner, conference speaker and a blogger, member of ITAFL Poland, Filter and Visual Arts Circle. Her main interests include Cambridge exams preparation, visual literacy, and the use of images and films in the classroom. Welcome, Magdalena, and over to you.
Okay, hello. Now, can you hear me well? Yes? Perfectly. A short introduction, thank you very much, Oksana. I first would like to thank everybody for the invitation, my second time in Virtual Round Table. And we are going to have similar topic at Kieran because we have the same taste. We both love films. Yes, hello, Rob. It's going to be about moving images, how to exploit short films. Kieran started, I'm going to finish and continue, so it's going to be perfect cooperation. Now, because I'm a full-time teacher, so all the examples and all the lessons are going to be about things that really happen in the classroom. For a long, long time, when we wanted to watch the film, we used to go to the cinema. The screen was big, the seats were comfortable. Then, of course, in time, the advent of television have changed that. And, of course, we started watching on our comfortable sofas. The times have changed and the screens have become smaller and smaller, and nowadays nobody needs the cinema or television. Personally, in my home, it's switched off all the time because we are used to, of course, to mobile phones. Now, post-millennials, this is the generation that we are probably going to teach for the next few years, is just addicted to mobile phones and watching the films. British Film Institute said that the world that we live in is the world of moving images. And to participate fully in a society and its culture means to be as confident in the use and understanding of moving images as of the printed world. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that we have to get rid of the course books, of course, right now. However, moving images should, and I'm sure it will be, part of compulsory part of the curriculum in the future, as is part and parcel for the teenagers that we teach nowadays. Now, what we are going to talk about now is, of course, why we should use short films in the classroom, not long ones. I remember the beginnings of my careers about 18, 19, 20 years ago, when the whole class gathered around the computer and we watched the film for about 1 hour and a half or 2 hours, and it was really engaging, and we discussed that. But of course, nowadays the time is pressing and the pace of life has changed dramatically, and nobody has time to watch 2-hour film in the class. Probably some directors wouldn't allow to do that. So what are the benefits of using short films in the classroom? Of course, Kieran mentioned that they motivate and engage learners. That's true because it's something different than the book. You don't want to read the compulsory books at school, not to mention look at the course books very often. And it seems to be tempting for them, of course, to use that. What's more, of course, it enhances speaking and writing. Speaking is obvious because we talked before and after the film, but I think that we underestimate very often the importance of writing, and short film can show that the beginning of the lesson, of course, can force students somehow and encourage them to continue the topic in writing. Now, of course, short films boost creativity and imagination. Stopping the film in the middle, as Kiran showed, of course, leaves some kind of temptation, like what is going to happen next. By giving the titles, as he mentioned, you can develop students' imagination and encourage them to think deeply about something what is going to be shown or has just been shown. And the most important probably for us teachers, it can be shown during one class slot. Now, film, of course, is mostly watched on YouTube, the most popular platform. Some statistics which may be surprising for people, that 60 hours of video are uploaded every minute. So by the time I finish reading the slide, 60 hours of videos are uploaded. 4 billion videos are viewed a day. Among those viewers, of course, let's not forget our students. More video is uploaded to YouTube in 1 month than 3 major US networks created in 60 years. And the age, of course, of YouTube users. So our students are addicted and to it, and they watch films in different form constantly, shorter or longer. And I think that soon is going to be, of course, can become our habit as we become people from the visual arts circle. We do watch a lot, and we really want to share the ideas with you. Now, another excellent quote, George Lucas, live on the screen, that if learners aren't taught this new language of sound and images, shouldn't they be considered as illiterate as if they left college without being able to read and write? It's some kind of illiteracy, we can say, because film is everywhere right now. Now, types. Of course, today I'm going to focus only on the 4 of them. Normally, the presentation workshop about film lasts 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. So I'm going to focus on TV commercials, cartoons, and movie trailers, as well as viral movies. This year in the conference, at the conference in Athens, I'm going to talk about post-millennials and YouTube generation and more trendy and cool and fashionable right now types of videos. But today, just the basics for you to get encouraged, of course. So how to integrate film into the classroom? First of all, as Kiran said, it's not easy to find a good video. So you have to carefully select the topic and the content, depending on the age, gender, cultural background, and so on. Let's not forget that every lesson should have some kind of clear pedagogical goal, although I would mention that not all, of course, films I play in my classroom are to teach vocabulary or grammar. Sometimes you just show to put the students in a good mood or to be the filler in the lesson. Thoughtful preparation. Well, to prepare exercises for the film, it's not a 5-minute task. For sure, you have to watch it not only once, of course, and then prepare the pre-viewing, while viewing, and post-viewing activities. Let's move on. So there are 2 basic questions, like what are the ways of using short films, as well as where to find them. So TV advertising, who doesn't like them, especially if they are interesting, funny, and can give something interesting for our students. So first, I would like to recommend you the website that I find very useful, www.ice4tv. And as you can see on the left, there are different types of commercials. So there are educational one, there are Super Bowl commercials. I usually choose them because of they are of good quality. If you paid so much for the commercial, you try your commercial to be, of course, of good quality. They are connected with the food, the drinks, and many, many others. So what happens if you finally if you finally find the commercials suitable for your students. One of the activities that I use is a buzz game. So my students have already downloaded the buzzer as an application. I divide my students into two groups and let them watch carefully the advertisement. I chose the one which has a lot of details. One of my favorite is from Crash the Super Bowl 2014, Doritos Time Machine. I prepared the questions in advance, about 7-10 questions. They have to watch. The commercials are really short, so 2-3 minutes. And then I ask the question. The group that, of course, answers the faster we scores the point. But they have to press the buzzer. And I think the idea of buzzer is really interesting because it keeps them interesting. Everybody would like to be the next to press the buzz. And in the meantime, of course, it's called detective's eyes. They have to look very carefully for details, not only the content. And there are a lot of activities like that on my blog, which I'm going to show later on, especially during Christmas commercials and activities to use. Now, yes, as I said, we together with Kieran have the same taste in films, and I really love the film presented on his website. So the use of the screenshots. A few days ago, there was another anniversary of Titanic. On my blog, you will find a lesson about using screenshots with this particular topic. And so you take any 5-6 screenshots. Again, I divide my students into small groups. Each group gets the set of screenshots, and they have to prepare either in form of writing or orally the story they are going to present. Of course, it's preparation, writing, if it's written form. They have to present to another group, so each group presents to each other. And then, of course, the group that is closest with the ideas to the original version, again, gets some kind of prize. So it's really interesting, and the students are encouraged, can be encouraged to do so. Now, sound before vision. A lot of commercials have great soundtrack, and I think it's another thing that we tend to underestimate, because very often we play the film as it is. So during Christmas, I found a fantastic commercial that I would like to share with you. It was Audi holiday campaign parking lot. So what I did was that I only played the sounds, and the students had to, judging by the sounds, and there are a lot of sounds, believe me, you have to watch it. They had to decide what is happening. So first they talked in pairs with each other, what it's going to be about. And then, of course, they were really tempted to see if they were right. It's really funny, and I used that especially with boys because it's about cars, brakes, screeching, bells, ringing, a lot of really various sounds. But you can choose any kind of commercial with a lot of sounds. By the way, just to wake you up a little bit, have you ever used sound before vision? Could you type if you have ever used the sound before vision? Yes, and it's really great to experiment. If you have never done it before, I do encourage you to do so, because it's, of course, it's something different. It's something different watching film without the film. Okay, now trailers. I think all of us love trailers, and one of the most popular websites where you can find a lot of trailers is comingsoon.net, where you can have update information about all the trailers that are going to be shown. And what I want you to encourage, of course, is to watch either the trailers of cartoons. I chose the one which is going to be soon on in the cinema, Smallfoot, not Bigfoot. We had a Smallfoot, where I don't know if you know that most cartoons have 2 or 3 versions of trailers. So what I do with my students, I play them 2 versions, and they have to, of course, find the differences between them. Or, and it's much more interesting, one group of students leaves the classroom. I play a 2-minute version of first trailer, and then the second group leaves, and the first group watches the trailer, and then in pairs they have to discuss, and it's really funny because there are some similarities and there are some differences, of course, and you can watch later on both of them, and the students are really attracted by that. So the film is called Smallfoot, and it's really interesting. You can do it, of course, with any kind of trailer, especially cartoons, I think, have the versions. With cartoons, there's one more thing I want to encourage you to do is, of course, you take the characters. There are usually 4 or 5 main characters, and with kids group, it's perfect that you show just the picture of character like I have here, and they have to predict before watching, like, is it going to be the positive character or the negative before watching, of course, the trailer, not the film. And they have to guess, and then after watching, they know exactly if it's true or it's false. Now, with action-packed trailers, I tried to choose for you the coming soon ones. Rampage trailer. Again, as you can see, there is the second version, so probably there is also the first one. Action-packed trailers are fantastic for jigsaw viewing. So, because they are quick, full of action, and it's really fantastic to use with students. So you take action, and the students very quickly, so one student is watching with the face front and the second back to the screen, watch and have to tell while watching what he can see to the partner. Then, of course, you can swap, or you can divide one trailer into 2. There are so many options, but because it must be action-packed, because then, of course, they very quickly want to tell what is happening. And it's a lot of fun in the classroom, and they are really you can practice, of course, present continuous. You can practice adjectives, adverbs, because the pace of the film, of course, is very quick. Now, with trailers, of course, or any other kind of films, the end of the story or alternative ending seems to be really perfect. You know that the trailers, of course, cannot tell the ending, so I think trailers are perfect. And another film that is going to be released this year, the MAC official trailer, and it's again #1, so probably 2, 3 are going to be played. Now, you again divide your students into small groups, and students have to write the end of the story. With some of the students, I did also, like, when the film was released, and if it was something interesting, and they really went to the cinema in a large number, then they came and they said who was right, and if they really enjoyed it, or did they predict well. With trailers, there's one thing I do always at the beginning of the year. So in January, I ask students to watch trailers as homework, and then they have to present one they would like to watch this year. It doesn't matter if it's going to be released in spring or in autumn, but I think it's really great because you have to get to know students more, you know what kind of genre they prefer, and they have to also use the vocabulary supporting, like why they have chosen particular type of film. and they, of course, have to use plenty of fantastic vocabulary. Now, viral films. Now, again, I think that at least once each of us posted on Facebook a viral film that we found really interesting, captivating. Why I like viral films? First of all, because they deal with contemporary issues. So the things like bullying, racism, sexism, consumerism, or human rights are often underlined in viral films. And most of that films are used as a kind of warm-ups, fillers, or closers. So either at the beginning, for example, of the lesson, in the middle, or at the end. And recently, the viral film that I probably showed in all of the groups I have, was of a British diver that showed them the amount of rubbish in the coast of Bali. It's 1 minute 10, but if it's played like we have the chapter of environment, probably the least liked topic by the students, plenty of vocabulary that is difficult to remember. But to introduce the topic, you can play just 1 minute 15 film. And you know, I didn't ask any questions. I just played the film and waited for their reaction. And some of them said that they were really dreaming of going to Bali, and it was on their bucket list, I could say. And they were completely shocked. Of course, it provokes discussion. Like, is it? I come from the Masurian Lake District. There are over 1,000 lakes, so we can compare if there is a problem like that in Poland, where I'm from. So it's really captivating. But it can happen also. It can be used also at the end of the topic when you finish, and just to summarize. Viral films, I think, are underestimated, and I think that they should be used because they are often they often provoke discussion, and students find them interesting. I think that even happens very often that students have already watched the film, but they want to share their opinion about it because it carries some emotions. Now, all of the things I mentioned you can find on my blog, which I set up about 2 years ago. It's called visualteaching.blogspot.com. I'm not only focusing there on the films, because I'm interested in images in general. So there are the things connected with image, films, and as well as the use of mobile phones in the classroom that I do almost every second lesson. And there are a lot of lesson plans, of course, around all those ideas I mentioned. So you can freely use and feel encouraged to, of course, go and use the films that were discussed, or ideas how to use pictures in a more creative way. Now, the websites that I use the most frequently are listed here below. But of course, it's Film English by Kieran, Lesson Stream, Viral WordPress, coming soon. All of them, of course, are really tempting to choose but you know, nobody is going to do the job for us. So it's really great to devote some time into preparation and thinking, like, what's the aim? Why am I showing certain film? Now, the books, yes, and one more. So those three most probably vital for me: Film English, language learning with digital video by Ghosted, and Paul Driver. I have seen Paul Driver in the audience. Hello, Paul. And bringing online video into the classroom by our favorite Jamie Keddy. Each of the book is different, and but all of that I would recommend for film lovers to just develop more knowledge about, go deeper into film and creating lessons around the films, because probably that's the most important. Okay, so thank you very much. It was quick, but I do encourage you to join our image conference this time in Athens, where I'm going to talk about YouTube generation. I'm going to talk about vlogs. I'm going to talk about using unboxing and many other interesting things that are not very popular and discussed in the books, but are of interest for our students nowadays. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Magdalena, for all the wonderful ideas shared.
Thank you.
And we